everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Brittany, you can call me Bolt, and today's video is going to be a Q&A. Now, it's been probably over a year since I filmed any kind of Q&A video, so I thought it was time to film a new one. A few days ago, I opened up my Snapchat DMs and I asked you guys on Instagram what were the questions that you wanted to ask me the most. So, it's time to get personal today. We are digging into my personal life. Yay, oversharing on the internet is one of my favorite hobbies, as you can tell. And then at the end of the video, I wanted to introduce you guys to the dogs that I'm living with. Right now, I'm living with 3 dogs. So if you haven't seen my last video, go watch it because that will fill you in on a lot of stuff, why I'm not in LA, all that good stuff. I have all the questions on my phone here, and we'll start off with like the most basic ones first, and then we'll get into the juicy ones later. So, how old are you? I'm 23 years old. My birthday is November 14th, 1996. I'm a Scorpio. Yes, we're the worst. What was your major in college? So, I went to Boise State University. I double majored in both general business and human resource management, and I also minored in marketing. How is the college life? I graduated back in May of last year, almost a year ago, which, holy crap, it does not feel like a year, but I'm really glad that I graduated before all this shit went down. So this question cracked me up. Are you related to Usain Bolt? No, I wish I was. That would be really cool. I used to tell people in like middle school that I was related to him. I think they believed me, but I'm not related to Usain Bolt. Do you have a favorite Disney ride? I've only been to Disneyland once, and my favorite ride was probably the Toy Story ride. I liked that one a lot. What is your favorite type of foreign food? I would have to say my 2 top favorites are like Chinese or Korean food and then Indian food, which is kind of funny because I used to absolutely hate Indian food, like curry, any of that, but I grew to love it, so it's actually one of my favorites now. Okay, where are you originally from? I'm originally from Boise, Idaho. I was born and raised there. When I lived in Boise, I didn't live in the country or the farmland or anything like that. I actually lived in the capital in Boise, very urban, more city-like. So when people think of Idaho, they think, oh, potato, farmland. But no, I lived in the capital, the most populated part of Idaho. And I lived in Boise until I graduated college, so I lived in Boise until like July of 2019. Yeah, July of 2019, and then I moved to LA. Okay, next question is, would you date a Latino guy? Yes, I don't discriminate. I don't really have a type that I would or wouldn't go for. When it comes to race, I'm very open-minded. That leads us into our next question. Are you single? Yes, I'm single. I've been single for 2 years. And that again leads us into our next question. Why are you single? Honestly, I just haven't met anybody that is worth ruining my life over again for, you know? So, I haven't really quite met anyone that is the right fit, that matches my energy. I've been really trying to focus on myself the past 2 years. I realized after my last relationship that another person is not going to make you happy if you're not happy yourself, and if you're not a whole person yourself before you start to date someone, then it's just not going to work out. So I've been working on myself. I've been just trying to focus on my goals, focus on work. Being single for so long does get lonely sometimes, but after the bullshit that I put up with in my last 2 relationships, I like my peace and quiet, and yeah, I'm not going to date anyone unless I really find someone that is worth the time and effort. Next question is, best advice for online dating? I don't have good advice for it. I've been single for a long time, so I'm probably not the best person to ask, and I'm really not good at online dating. I was banned from Tinder, so didn't really work out for me. Alright, what was the first beach that you went to? The first beach that I went to was in Puerto Vallarta. I went there when I was about 13 or 14, I think, and I went on a family vacation there with my mom and my dad and my little sister. I was kind of too young to appreciate the whole vacation, but that was the first beach I ever went to. This is a really good question. I like this one. If you had to pick one artist to listen to during the quarantine, who would it be? Alright, I would have to say it's a tie between two of my favorite artists of all time, which is Glass Animals or the White Stripes. Now, those are two very different artists, but they've been my favorites for years now. Those are the two artists that I've had on repeat since we've been in quarantine, actually. And the other day I was listening to the album Elephant by the White Stripes, and every single song on that album was so relatable. So if you haven't listened to that album, go listen to it because it's too relatable right now. Alright, next one is Love or Lust. Both are fun, but I guess I would have to choose love. Okay, do you plan to live in LA for the rest of your life? No, I do not. LA is fun and all, but the city is just a beast. That's a whole nother video that I'll have to do another time, but no. I love LA, I want to live there for a small portion of my life, but definitely not forever. Any foods that you dislike? Honestly, no. And I used to have a couple foods that I absolutely hated. I would gag every time I tried to eat them, but as I've gotten older and I guess tried them more in different dishes, I actually don't really have anything that I don't like. The foods that I used to hate were blue cheese, walnuts, and mushrooms. Those were like the three foods I could not eat. But as I've gotten older, I actually love those foods and crave them from time to time. What is your ideal first date? That's a tough one. I think it all depends on the person, but personally I love trying new things, so if there's something that both of us haven't done yet, then that's what I would like to do. It doesn't have to be anything extreme, like trying a new restaurant or, I don't know, trying some kind of outdoor activity. I love being outside, so something outside would definitely be a plus. What is one thing that you miss about college? Oh my gosh, honestly, everything. I'm not gonna lie, I miss college so much. I miss partying, I miss studying. Like, on a serious note, I miss learning and I miss being in classes because ever since I graduated, I feel like I haven't been productive at all. And if I didn't have student loans, then I would 100% still be in school. So I miss the structure, I miss the classes, I miss my sorority so much, I miss my sorority sisters, and yeah, I miss partying too. How tall are you? I am 5'6", so I'm kind of average height, I guess a little bit taller for girls. I always wished that I was taller because I played volleyball and I always had to be in the back row because I wasn't tall enough to hit, and it pissed me off. If you could go back and change one thing in your life, what would it be and why? To be honest with you, I wouldn't change anything about my life. I will be straight up. I've fucked up a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes, especially in college, but I wouldn't change any of that for anything. Because if I didn't make those choices, would be a better word than mistakes, if I didn't make those choices, then I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I've learned and had to teach myself the hard way. So honestly, I wouldn't change anything. And that's just the truth. I'm thankful for every good moment, every bad, horrible moment, because those tough times remind you of how good the good times are. Right, this is a question that's kind of similar. If you could go back 5 to 10 years in the past, what advice would you give yourself and why? I would tell myself to not worry so much and to not give a fuck about what other people think about you. Even now, it's really hard. I struggle with it a lot. It's just worrying what other people think and worrying, you know, what other people's opinions are about me. And I would tell myself, you know what, it does not matter. Do what makes you happy, because in the end of the day, you're not going to be able to please everyone. Not everyone's going to like you, and all that matters is your own happiness. So do whatever you want. What is your skincare routine? Honestly, I don't have a super set in stone skincare routine, but I do have a couple products that I really love to use, and I'm actually going to do a video on this later, so I will answer that question in a whole new video within the next couple weeks. Alright, next question is, I'm curious about what you do in the cannabis industry and how you got involved in that. So it's actually kind of funny because I've always been very interested in getting involved in the cannabis industry, but I never knew how. Since I was from Boise, Idaho, I didn't really think that I would be able to get involved in any kind of way because I don't really have experience besides, you know, the recreational part of it. So yeah, I had always had an interest in it, but I never thought that I could actually get my foot in the door. While I was in LA, I, you know, was working a lot of different jobs. I was a barista for a while. I was working for a marketing company for a while. All those didn't work out, but during that time, I met a ton of people, and I just ended up networking and meeting this guy who was the CEO of a grow light company. So his company manufactured LED lights that all the grow houses used. And so he met me, I told him a little bit about my background, and he was like, hey, I think that you would be a really awesome fit. If you want this opportunity, we would love to have you. What I did for about 2 months is I worked with them, and we traveled and we went to trade shows. We went to 2 different marijuana business conventions. Now, to go to these was a really cool experience in itself. It was way more professional than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be kind of like a high time situation, like let's all get stoned in a convention center, which I was slightly disappointed that it wasn't, but it was really cool. It gave me a really cool perspective on the marijuana business, and it was all very professional, suit and tie. And I went with them to these trade shows, and I worked in sales. So I was on the sales floor talking to people about our products, and I learned so much about marijuana, how to grow marijuana. There's actually so much that goes into marijuana. I had no idea, but I loved learning about it, and I still really want to be involved in that industry. I was supposed to be going to 3 different trade shows this spring in Chicago and on the East Coast, but because of Corona, they've been rescheduled, unfortunately. So right now that's kind of on pause, but I was working with them kind of part-time to go to these trade shows, and it was amazing. I definitely want to continue to be in the marijuana industry, but for now it's kind of on pause. This leads us into our next question: is indica or sativa? 100% sativa. I'm what you would like to call a productive stoner, I guess. My favorite thing to do is smoke and then go out and run errands, go to the gym. I used to smoke and then go study at the library. Like, people think I'm crazy for that, but I focus best when I smoke sativa, so there's that. Okay, and next question is, what is your biggest fear? I would have to say my biggest fear is probably not finding happiness in life and not being able to do, you know, everything that I wanted to do. A lot of people ask me, you know, why don't you have like a career type job right now? Like, you went to college and you worked your ass off for 4 years and you're not even working like in an adult job right now. I decided that I didn't want to go out and get a career type of job right away because I have so many different things that I'm interested in. Like, I'm interested, you know, in houseplants, in painting, in fashion, in music, and all these things, and I just feel like I want to take the time while I'm young to explore all those different passions. And that's one reason why I did study business, is because I know that whenever I find something that I'm truly passionate about, then I will find a way to make a business and to make an income off of whatever it is that I'm passionate about. I'm sure a lot of people have their own opinions about it, but for me, like, I just wanted to use this time to chase after what I'm really passionate about. And I worked a lot of different jobs during college. Being in all those jobs just really showed me how important it is to love what you're doing. My biggest fear is to be in, you know, a full-time 40-hour-a-week job and to hate what I'm doing and hate my life every day while I'm at work. Like, I don't care what kind of money is involved. I don't care how much I'm being paid. Like, it's just not worth it to me. I want to live life while I'm young and really chase after everything it is that I'm interested in. So that's a little bit deep, but that's probably my biggest fear. Next question is, what do you do exactly? So the past year I've been working in a lot of different jobs, as I kind of mentioned before. I've worked in the marijuana industry, I worked for a marketing company, I was a barista for a while. But the main thing that I've been doing is I work in social media. That's how I make all my money. That's how I pay my bills. So I was working for a platform called Holanis that I was posting on for 3 years total, and that's how I made my money. But now I post all my videos on YouTube, so YouTube, Instagram. I also stream full-time, which has taken up a lot of my time lately, and it's been really fun because I've always wanted to do that. And I'm also very active on Poshmark and reselling fashion. The past few months I've made a significant amount of money from reselling fashion on apps like Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari. And before I left LA, I had been working on launching an online boutique that was primarily on Poshmark, and I'm hoping to, in the next few months, move it to possibly my own website or something that is a little bit more like my own brand, I guess, if that makes sense. Okay, next question. What inspired you to put yourself on Instagram and become an influencer? So social media is something that I've actually been involved with since I can even remember, since Instagram first came out. That's how long I've had my Instagram account for. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. Like, I wasn't popular. I had like one friend. So I turned to the internet. I was the person that spent hours and hours on Tumblr, Instagram, YouTube, all of that stuff. So because of that, and because I did grow up in a smaller town, Boise is, you know, not that big of a place to live, I kind of turned to the internet as a way to escape. From a young age, I kind of realized the power of social media and how many people you could actually reach online from wherever you're at just with the click of a button, and that just fascinated me. That really is what sparked my interest. I always felt really trapped living in Idaho. I kind of felt like I didn't belong there, and so yeah, I reached out to other people on the internet to kind of fill that void, I guess. But I also use social media to show my creative side a little bit. I always felt like I was creative, but I didn't feel like I was creative like in the artistic type, you know, like drawing, stuff like that. So I use social media as a way to kind of show my creativity and express myself and just connect with people. And I've met some of the most amazing people on the internet that I never would have met otherwise. So yeah, social media has been a big part of my life. Even all throughout high school, if you went to high school with me, like, Instagram was just a huge part of my life. So all those reasons are kind of why I'm so passionate about social media. It's really put me out of my comfort zone in a good way. It's helped me find, you know, parts of myself that I never would have found otherwise. I don't ever picture my life not having social media in it. Like, I'm gonna be 80 years old posting YouTube videos, so. Okay, I had to take a break so that I could change my camera battery, but we're back. So that leads us into our last question, and then we can meet the dogs. How do you see yourself 5 years from now? Do you just want to be a YouTube star? I would have to say, no, that's not my main goal in life. If I was chasing after, you know, the numbers, the followers, the clout, and the fame, then I wouldn't still be in social media. I'll tell you that right now. Like, and if you are in social media and that's what you're chasing after, like, I highly advise that you don't, because you're never going to find happiness. But I'm in social media because I just told you guys it's what I'm passionate about, and I've met some of the most amazing people in my life through social media, and it's always been kind of the same goal for me, is to connect with other people and to try to be a positive aspect in someone's life. So if you're chasing after, you know, the clout, the fame, then I don't really think you're going to go that far, because social media is a hard industry to be in. It's difficult, it's changing all the time, so you have to have passion behind it. I definitely see myself being in social media for a long time, as I said before, and hopefully in 5 to 10 years I will be settled down a little bit. I would love to have a family eventually. I would love to have kids and a husband and all that good stuff, but it's going to be a while. That's going to be a while for sure. So I'm fine with that. For now, I'm just trying to live life. I want to travel a little bit. I want to experience all the things that life has to offer. But in 5 to 10 years, yes, I would love to have more of a steady career type job and hopefully have a family. Well, that's all the questions that I'm going to answer for today. I hope that this video helps you guys to get to know me a little bit better and to see a little bit more of a personal side of me. But now I want to introduce you guys to my dogs. Who doesn't love dogs? So all dogs support outside. So I've been living with 3 amazingly sweet little dogs the past 2 weeks. Stella's still with me, you guys all know Stella, but I wanted to introduce you guys to my mom's dogs because they're really cute, very sweet, and I've been spending all my time with them lately. So this sweet little girl, her name is Horchata. I showed you guys on my stories a little bit of what the dogs are like, but this is Horchata. She is a Chihuahua dog. Both of my mom's dogs are rescue dogs. We got them from the Humane Society, and when we got both of them, they were in really horrible shape. Horchata is still very, very shy. As you can see, she is just shaking and so scared right now. You can see her. She is the tiniest little bean, but she's a sweetheart, and she acts all timid and scared, but she's the alpha female, and her and Stella have actually been, you know, battling over who is alpha, so it's been kind of funny to watch them. But Horchata is the first dog to get up and start barking like crazy when someone comes to the door. So she's small and looks like a scaredy little thing, but she is, that's not her. She's fierce, even though she doesn't act like it. And I think she's about 3 or 4. I'm honestly not sure how old they are. Now it's time for you guys to meet Ruby. Ruby is an absolute joy. She's not quite as scared as Horchata. We've had Ruby for longer than we have had Horchata. I think we've had Ruby for maybe a year longer. My mom's not allowed to go to the Humane Society anymore because she always comes back with a dog. So, yeah, Ruby is also a Chihuahua dog. Both Horchata and Ruby are Chihuahua wiener dog mixes, and Ruby is just a total sweetheart. When we got her, you could see every bone in her body. We could see every single bone in her spine, but now she's chunky monkey. But Ruby is a sweetheart. She's definitely less aggressive than the other dogs. She just wants to love on you, and she's the best cuddler ever. My mom's a firefighter, so she spends her nights at the fire station while she's working. So Ruby is always up in my space trying to cuddle, and Stella, she's having a hard time with that. Stella definitely gets jealous, but I'm trying to teach Stella to be a little bit sweeter. Alright, you guys all know Stella. She's my baby child. She loves being with the other dogs, but she does get a little bit jealous. It's hard for her because when it's just me and her, you know, she's the only dog. She doesn't have to fight for attention, but she's been getting a little bit jealous lately. But as I've said before, her and Ruby are best friends. They kind of all run around together like a little Chihuahua gang, because Stella's half Pomeranian, half Chihuahua. So they all bond over their, you know, Chihuahua features, I guess. So I'm gonna end the video here. I don't want this video to be too long, but if you really watched to the end, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone that has been supporting me on my YouTube, my Instagram, my Snapchat, and I feel really blessed to have so many people supporting me. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button below, leave a comment, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.